Welcome to another episode of Knees Knockin' Still Talkin'. Hi everyone, I'm Joanne Robertson, and my spirit name is Misko Anungokwe, and I'm Migizi, or Bald Eagle Clan. My communities are Essex County, Atikameksheng, Anishinaabeg, and Algoma. I'm super happy to be with you again this year. And what a year it's been so far, hey? I've been asked to share with you today what I've been up to since our last visit, and to share my new board book that was released by Second Story Press in April. I really enjoyed show and tell and what I did on my summer vacation when I was a kid. So being a kid at heart, here goes. And I was super shy in school, so I always wanted to try and be Vanna White when I gave my teacher a script so that he could read it. But I'm not in front of the camera today, so it's all good. Okay, here we go. So the first thing I want to share with you was back in September, I got to go to the Nature Tales Festival in Burlington at the Botanical Gardens, and it was a really beautiful sunny day. But just before I got there, we had a huge garage sale at home, and I must have carried about 100 boxes. And anyways, my back went out. But at the last minute, I threw my dad's old walker into the trunk, and I was able to make it to the book festival. And my thrill was getting to speak with Barbara Reed. She's the author of some of my favorite kids' books, and that's me sitting by her at the book signing table. She does plasticine art in her books, and they're incredible. She said that when she visits schools and lets the kids work with the plasticine to make their own pictures, the Indigenous students often roll the clay up into little balls and make pictures like beadwork. And that was really cool to learn that. After the Nature Tales event, I thought it'd be really great to have a big book for events where I could project, at events where I couldn't project the book onto the wall. So in October, Second Story Press made me a great big book of The Water Walker. And it was a big hit at our local library when I read it to a group of preschoolers. I was warned that they walked and talked and crawled around a lot during the readings, so not to get discouraged. But I got down on the floor with them, which I'm not sure was a great idea for me because it was hard getting up. But the big colorful pages held the little kids' attention through the whole reading. We were all amazed by that because The Water Walker is kind of a long book for little kids. So I'm grateful to have this version in my travel bag now. Another thing I've been working on is my well-being. I was still grieving last year, and I found that to feel it some days, I had to journal about it. I colored in some of my journal sketches and shared them at the AIAI, Association of Iroquois and Allied Indians, Health and Wellness Conference last October in Niagara Falls. It was a really tough presentation, but it hopefully hit the mark for someone. The morning after that conference, I got up super early and drove to Hamilton to do the puck drop at the Hamilton Bulldogs School Game Day. Over 2,000 kids were at that game in October. And The Water Walker was the book of the year at that school board. This is me with the Bulldogs owner, Michael Andlauer. So many of the kids there had learned about Nokomis Josephine Baugh's work for the water. Some of their art was displayed on the scoreboard. And I got to do it all over again in November, and there were over 5,000 kids there this time. I cried looking out at the sea of kids and imagining them all as junior water walkers. This time, my mom came with me on this trip, and the next clip, you're going to see all the kids that were at that game for that puck drop. It was really fun. And I forgot to warn you, it was super noisy too. In December, my friend Peter Cameron, who started the Junior Water Walkers with Nokomis's blessing, he reported that there were over 203 groups of junior water walkers from around the world participating. In December, we also got to participate in a webinar. It was facilitated by Angela Nardozzi and Dr. Jean-Paul Rastoul. And you can still see that webinar if you go to angelanardozzi.com. And we talked about how we work together on the junior water walkers. The last highlight of 2019 I'd like to share is of my good friend and fellow Water Walk archivist. She gave a TED Talk. Her name is Kelsey Leonard, and I believe it's a must listen to. I cried crocodile tears the first time I heard it, and there's almost 2 million views now, and she's incredible, so give it a listen. And then this is how I spent February and March and on into spring. I tried to keep busy, so here's one image of some paper dolls that I made and posted for kids to make at home. And in April, my story came out in Chirp magazine. That was really fun. I got to do a reading of the story too, which I thought was maybe a bit too animated, but Jackie, the editor, assured me that the young ones are all about animated. So that's a good thing. You can go listen to it at owlkids.com/audio. For Second Story Press, I got to create a short film called, I think we're going to work with this title, Explore Nibi Mosadung with Joanne Robertson. And it's a wee little film that I made, and I really enjoyed working on it because it's the first time I got to create GIFs. So the first one that I did was of the grandmothers up in Churchill in 2011. The second one shows that there's only one water on Earth, and all living beings share that one water. So what I do to the water affects everyone else's use of the water. And also it speaks to me about blood memory. I might be getting a bit ahead of myself here because the videos won't be released online until October 3rd, at least my part of it, land and water part. But this year, Telling Tales is featuring the Water Walker again. We were going to go with Nibi as water, but I had a family emergency and I just couldn't participate. So they got Etienne Mostos Lafferty. I know I didn't say that right, but she's a member of Surgeon Lake Cree Nation in Alberta, and she's the Indigenous education person in Edmonton. And so she narrates the presentation based on the Water Walker, and I'm really grateful that she agreed to do this for us. And yeah, so you can watch it on October 3rd at the Telling Tales or Nature Tales website. So we made it. Nibi is Water was released in April of this year. I always rough out all my books in a little notebook, but this year I thought I'd share with you how I work on my iPad. So this is a picture of me drawing the two women, people cleaning up garbage on Turtle Island. If you're interested, the app that I use an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil, and the app that I prefer to use on my iPad is called Procreate. Our Shelves is a book club, a new book club in the States that curates diverse books for children, and they just picked up Nibi is Water for their fall release. And while we're talking about diversity, I want to speak a bit about it, and especially with my book, Nibi is Water. I originally wanted to make all the kids in the book dark skin, dark hair, brown eyed kids. Maybe all of them still have brown eyes, I'm not sure. But I wanted to do this because I wanted there to be no mistake that these are the children of Indigenous grandmothers leading the way in water protection. And I wanted to see my kid self in this book. And I wanted our kids to see themselves in this book. And I wanted non-Indigenous kids to see our kids in this book. And as it turns out, I ended up doing just that. All the kids in this book look like our kids. Even the redhead. I had a Cree friend up north that was a ginger. We have curly hair and blonde hair and everything in between. Our skin is all shades of beautiful. But I also wanted all the junior water walkers I've been meeting in classrooms across Ontario to see themselves in these pages. I needed a lot more pages to draw all the kids that have inspired me. Water brings us all together. We are diverse, but there's only one water, and it gives us life, and it lives in all of us. When I spot for water walks, I do this from home. It's physically isolating, but I'm with the water walkers in spirit and cyberly. Is that even a word? That isolating work and the isolation the pandemic has created has given me a lot more time to think about water. During the big water walks, I couldn't get away from my computer monitors, so I rarely went to Lake Superior. I felt separate from what I was working to protect. But we aren't separate, are we? Our bodies are on average 75% water. Traveling and public speaking are my kryptonite, especially the public speaking part. My blood sugars go dangerously high due to lack of sleep, stress, and the quick food on the road. When I got home last December after my last road trip, I was really sick. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm killing myself. Not intentionally, of course, but there are consequences to our actions. And because I knew it was happening, I knew I could choose to do something about it. I started thinking about Nibi. I was also thinking about the water vessel that Nokomis carried across Turtle Island. She cherished that vessel of water. It was so special to her. It came first, before everything, except for Sama, because she knew that what was inside of that pail gave her life. So, knowing that I'm a water vessel, and that the water in my vessel gives me life, I needed to take better care of my vessel of water. I needed to thank, respect, love, and protect the water in my own vessel, and I could and can do that from home, in isolation. In 2017, I was a mentor at an art collective in the Sioux, and on our final projects, we created them on mannequins. I was spotting for one of Nokomis's water walks, so I had water on the brain. I was working 4 jobs, and I couldn't get to the lake or river to thank Nibi, to sing to Nibi. So I reminded myself that I was a vessel of water. And I created this piece, and I called it Self-Respect. And I put a spot on its wrist because it's a reminder that someone always has our back. We just have to ask for help. The next video clip I'm going to share is something that I just did for the Our Shelves kids for their book club. This book is about the importance of Nibi, or water, and even more important, it's about our relationship to water. And do you know what it means to have a relationship? It means that you're connected. And to have a healthy relationship or connection, it means you have to have respect for each other, right? And respect, if I can find it, is on this page, and you say, Mana den dimawin. Mana den dimawin. Respect. In Nibi's water, we'll see some of the ways that we use water in our everyday lives. And we'll see some of our relatives, like our pets, our plants, our trees, and our insects. Relatives, that's a word similar to relationship, right? And remember what relationship means? It means to be connected. So we're all connected to all of our relatives, our pets, our plants, the trees, and the insects. And do you know how we're all connected? We're all connected by water. We're all made of water. So we're all like this container, this glass full of water. This glass is about 75% full of water. And that's how much water we have in our own bodies, too. And for life, we all depend on clean water for life, right? Us and all our relatives. So, what I do with this water has an effect on you and all our relatives. And what you do to the water has an effect on me and all our relatives. I know, that's a lot to think about, hey? Since 2016, in order to take care of my water vessel, I've gotten into the habit of tracking everything that goes into my body. And 2016 was the first time I started experimenting with food to try and get off all of my diabetes medication. Doing this is also a way to exercise my doodling muscle, and it's a relaxing thing to do at the end of the day when you color it all in. I no longer use medication to keep my numbers in check, like my blood pressure and blood sugar levels, though on the road I have had a few scares. Anyways, I share this stuff with you because I used to be in the alternative health field for many years, and so I have a really big interest in this stuff, and I have been spending a lot of time on it, especially during lockdown, during the pandemic. So it is a big thing I've been working on. And I was wondering if maybe having a journal like this would help you or someone that you know. I want to add one last thing about the cover of the book. I drew the cover first, and I had it before the text was finalized, and I emailed it to Josephine Ba, and she was the very first to see it, and I emailed it to her for her approval, and she wrote back, "Ever cute." To me, she and Nibi are the greatest examples of unconditional love. And that's why her image surrounded by water is on the front cover and on the page inside the book with the word love. And I want to share one final clip that I made for our shelves again. And I'm pretty sure she'd be giggling watching it. So here goes. I never want to forget the relationship my teacher, Nokomis Josephine Ba, had with Nibi. She loved Nibi, and Nibi loved her. So to honor her relationship, on every page in this book, I've included 2 teeny tiny drawings. And if you get your magnifying glass out, you might be able to find Nokomis and the other is Nibi showing its love. So it's teeny tiny Nokomis. And then there's a heart made out of 2 water drops on every page. So you can have fun looking for that on every page. So guys, I think I'm almost out of time. So I'll end here and I'll see you very soon. Miigwech for listening and Bama P.